as ambassadors. Meanwhile, the Senate screened Kayode Are, Aminu Dal-Atu, and Ayodele Oke as ambassadors. The three nominees were sent to the Senate by President Bola Tinubu for confirmation. The nominees who appeared before the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs, chaired by Senator Sani Bello, said the committee's report is expected to be presented at plenary for consideration and possible confirmation in due course. Back home, Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has assured that his administration will continue to support the Nigerian Navy in fulfilling its responsibilities in the state. Governor Fubara made this commitment when he hosted the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Adu Abbas, at the Government House in Port Harcourt on Thursday. He emphasized the need for the state government and the Navy to maintain their collaborative efforts for the benefit of the state.
You know how strategic Rivers State is. We need to work together for us to succeed. My predecessors had a wonderful relationship with the Nigerian Navy. A lot of our assets were given to them to ensure that the operation here are smooth. And also when I came in, I also maintained a very cordial relationship with all the commanders that I met. I want to say that we'll continue to work with you. We'll make sure that whatever we need to do on our part to see that you succeed, we'll do that.
Earlier, the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Adu Abbas, said he was on a working tour of naval facilities in the state. He expressed gratitude for the government support and sought further assistance.
You know how strategic Rivers State is. We need to work together for us to succeed. My predecessors had a wonderful relationship with the Nigerian Navy. A lot of our assets were given to them to ensure that the operation here are smooth. And also when I came in, I also maintained a very cordial relationship with them.
Apologies for the mix-up in sound. Moving on, the state police has confirmed that the 5 kidnappers at Rivers State University have been freed. According to a statement by the police spokesperson SP Grace Iringekoko, the rescue operation took place on Thursday morning in Rumodogo 2 community, MOI local government area. Iringekoko reveals that the tactical teams led the operation in collaboration with other security agencies and with support from the local community. The rescued students, 4 males and 1 female, are Prince London Azubike Kelechuku, Elizabeth Anyete, Onyebuchi Precious, and London Sampson. She adds that the students have been taken to the hospital for medical checks while efforts are ongoing to track down and arrest the fleeing abductors. Concerns are growing among vehicle owners in Rivers State over the operations of vehicle inspection officers, prompting calls for the state government to investigate the actions. Several private car owners in Port Harcourt accused the DIO of luring drivers to their offices under false pretenses and imposing heavy fines. Speaking to correspondent Ifunaya Obeme Ndukwe, some private car owners questioned why VIO officials appear to focus mainly on private vehicles while allowing many poorly maintained commercial vehicles to operate freely. They said they were fined amounts ranging from 32,000 naira to 47,000 naira for lack of fire extinguishers, expired vehicle insurance, faulty reverse lights, incomplete wheel nuts, and other infractions.
I said, why do you go for private first? He said this is the order they gave to them. I said, no. I noticed that all these big lorries and these buses, it's in order. This one, just because of little fault, you are holding him. You see some, they will settle them there on the way and then they leave those ones, they will keep moving.
They tricked me. That's the one that pains me the most at my age. Speak to me nicely on the road. And I felt that I was dealing with responsible people. They deflated my tire immediately.
I was just moving. They suddenly stopped us and then, so what happened? They said, they're not going to waste time. I thought they found something on the tire. I said, no problem. Let's go to the office. And there's something they want to give us to the office. They just tricked me and went to the office. got there, we got inside. He came back and said, we should come and pay 45,000 naira. What happened? Talked about fire extinguisher, this and that. But I said, but you didn't tell us. Let them try these things they are doing on commercial vehicles. If they do that, we'll be happy that they're actually doing work.
Some of the motorists also raised serious concerns over alleged irregularities in how fines are being collected by the officers. They said they were asked to pay fines in cash or through a POS operator allegedly stationed at the VIO head office in Waterlines. One of the motorists shared his experience with our correspondent, who cited a bank transfer linked to a POS account bearing the name Favor Brown.
And at the end, they gave me 47,000 naira bill to pay, but they did not issue me with a receipt. I saw others paying as well, other people were paying. I was also surprised that they didn't even ask me to go to a bank and pay. I paid cash. There is a POS lady in their office there carrying a lot of cash. They should investigate the operations.
The account was a personal account. Let me have the government account number. He said I should go to the bank to come pay. They were ready to give the government account, but I should not transfer there. I should go to the bank so that I'll be frustrated and pay through POS.
You have to pay this money, 32,000, and then cannot pay cash, then you do money transfer. So when you pay, then there's a sticker they will give to you, pink sticker like that. Then that will give back money.
On the allegations, the head of VIO, Kaladakoru, said he's not aware of any payments being collected through POS machines.
If you come to my office, I'm going to show you receipts of bank tellers. If you go to the Ministry of Transport, go to the Finance, they will show you thousands of receipts of empowerment fees that are being paid to government distributed banks. But I don't know if there's such discussion. I can't go to bank. Please help me pay. And in the process, you take from PS and they give to them. Later they pay. That I am not there, and nobody has given me cash. The person at the head. That's the designated bank for such payment.
Mr. Akbo also spoke on the allegation that VIO officials focus more on private car owners.
That is not true in any way. But the thing there is that commercial vehicles, every time they carry passengers. Now, if you empower them, they let these passengers suffer on the road. And if you look at here, it is we that have caused the suffering to these innocent passengers who don't know anything about the state of the vehicle. That is why when passengers are in the vehicle, we try to give that concession.
Meanwhile, some residents in Port Harcourt want VIO officials to be taken off the roads.
So I was surprised to hear them say that they too renew license, vehicle license. To the best of my knowledge, it's Federal Road Safety Commission that has been renewing my license over the years. I was surprised to hear him say that they too renew particulars, vehicle particulars.
VIO should be out of the way. They are doing nothing. They are doing the work of police and road safety.
We will go on a quick break. When we return, stakeholders differ on Rivers Assembly endorsement of President's second term ambition. Do stay tuned. We'll be right back. newscast. A chieftain of the People's Democratic Party in Rivers State, Robinson Ewo, is criticizing the Rivers State House of Assembly for passing a vote of confidence on President Bola Tinubu, calling it an act of sycophancy. Speaking on Nigeria Info FM's Morning Crossfire on Thursday, Ewo says the State Assembly has no business issuing such endorsements to the federal government. He argues that if any vote of confidence is needed, it should be for the state governor, not the president.
What the River State House of Assembly is what I describe as the height of sycophancy. The House of Assembly of River State is River State House of Assembly and not House of Assembly of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. INEC has not released a timetable for election. So the time for adoption of candidates, aspirants for election is not yet there. We are not there yet. They ought to pass it on the government of River State, whom they work with. What they merely did was overzealousness.
Ewo also accused President Tinubu of using the emergency rule to strengthen his power, urging the assembly members to return to their constituents and secure their mandate before supporting the president. Meanwhile, the President General of the Grassroots Development Initiative, Bright Emewule, supports the assembly members, saying Ewo's position is null and void.
Even the certificate issued the other day was just a kind of appreciation to Iba for all that he has done for people. At this point, he has found that he wants to go second tenure. He can't go for second tenure without a party. So he has seen that the party is.
Chairman of the Rivers State Basic Education Board, Sam Oge, has clarified that the directive by Governor Simnai Fubara for the appointment of 1,000 teachers is not a new recruitment but a revalidation of an employment process that was nearly concluded before it was halted in 2023. Oge gave the clarification while speaking with journalists during an inspection of the revalidation exercise at the UBE board office at Elichi Beach. He explained that once the revalidation is completed, the affected teachers will proceed for biometric capturing to enable their full integration into the workforce. Some of the teachers who spoke to our correspondent expressed gratitude to the governor and the Rivers State House of Assembly for the gesture and appealed to be included in the December salary payments.
It's not a fresh employment, it's a revalidation of an employment that was almost 75% concluded but was stalled or somewhere along the line. Every person who is there on the queue now has an appointment letter dated 2023, so it's not new. So that is what we are doing. It's a revalidation exercise.
We appreciate him. We say thank you for what he has done. The completion is when we have received that.
We appreciate his effort. I personally appreciate his effort to employ more people.
Somebody that have done something that is in your mind. All you have to tell the person is thank you.
The governor have done fast. He has done well. He has done marvelously well. We also thank the State House of Assembly for what they have had. They are the brain behind this appointment.
The chairman of Obiakpo local government area, Dr. Gift Wolu, says his administration is focused on building an inclusive and growth-driven local economy. Speaking in an interview with journalists on the side at the council's Economic and Investment Summit themed Obalga Arise, building a sustainable economy for Obiakpo, Dr. Wolu said the summit aims to sensitize residents about the administration's development agenda. He added that his team has already made key interventions with security agencies to support the council's developmental efforts.
We called our people together to sensitize them to the programs that we have as a government.
one of the surest ways is to ensure that a new economy is created that is inclusive, that is growth-oriented, and that ensures that our people today, tomorrow, and maybe forever are happy. And I want to believe that this message resonates very well. As a government, we are doing our best to make the security personnel to understand that all our developmental drives will amount to nothing if there's no security.
Also speaking, the General Manager for Relations and Sustainable Development at Renaissance Africa Energy Company Limited, Igor Wally, called for the need to develop a gross domestic product database for Obiapo. He commended the councils around the agenda.
Safety, of course, part of the Arise agenda of the local government chairman, peace, safety, and peace. And P is performance. Performance is everything. We want to deliver value for Nigeria, eventually for Africa, and for our communities also. It's something that should be commended. I think we need to really, before coming here today, I tried to look for data on GDP at local government level. I couldn't find it. So if you want to plan, you need data. So if as a country, we don't even know what each local government is what, then how do you compare? The Arise agenda is fantastic. We need to work keen on supporting.
Correspondent Rejoice Amadi reports that Dr. Wallo outlined several reforms aimed at boosting development in the LGA. He assured residents that levies and permits would soon be processed digitally, allowing all payments to be made online. He also announced the launch of new vocational and technical training programs and invited banks, developers, tech companies, and diaspora investors to partner with the council in housing, solar energy, agro-processing technology, and other sectors. The summit brought together investors, state officials, development experts, traditional rulers, and industry leaders. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, the rest of the news. Please stay tuned. Welcome back now to the president of the Admiralty Global Realization of State Governor Simnalai Fubara to establish a committee to help transform the ports in Rivers State.
The first thing that Rivers State government should do is to take a cue from Akwa Ibom State and Bayelsa State. They now have Marine Blue Economy Ministry. Yes, and truly, Rivers State should actually be in the lead of that. Because this is where we have the oldest ports. So the state should, as of necessity and urgency, create a ministry of blue economy. It doesn't need a law of state to create that ministry. You can just create that ministry or create an institution or an institute that will be working assiduously towards achievement of a buoyant blue economy, even for the states.
Also speaking, maritime security consultant George Alili said there are challenges related to the clearing of aquatic bodies in the marine sector due to the continuous usage of the same route. He appealed to the Admiralty lawyers to come together and insist on the actualization of deep sea port in the eastern region.
If you dredge, you kill a lot of the aquatic life. So now you have a paradox in your hand. The other aspect is for the Admiralty lawyers to come together and insist that deep sea port is actualized. It's very, very essential. That will serve the eastern seaport, which will become now the transit time for transshipment will now be shorter to the other ports. In addition to the fact that we can begin to develop rail to move those things to the markets where they are required.
And now we bring you news around the world.
Russian President Vladimir Putin has arrived in India for a 2-day visit ahead of an annual summit held by both countries. Delhi and Moscow are expected to sign a number of deals during the visit, which comes months after the U.S. increased pressure on India to stop buying Russian oil. It also comes as U.S. President Donald Trump's administration holds a series of talks with Russia and Ukraine in an attempt to end the war. India and Russia have been close allies for decades, and Putin and Modi share a warm relationship. On the news this evening, you heard President Tinubu has sworn in retired General Christopher Musa as Minister of Defense. President Tinubu nominates former Rivers Sole Administrator Ibas Oakim, retired General Dambazao, and others as ambassadors. Governor Fubara has assured the Navy of his administration's continued support. Stakeholders have expressed different opinions about Rivers' assembly endorsement of the president's second-term ambition. On the foreign scene, Russian president is now in India for a 2-day visit. The news was edited by Oeka Chiwosu. To reach the news team, send a message to 0808 721 7215. I am Kaladakoru Batubo. Good evening.